Hey, everybody, it's your host, Dr. Dana Martin of the Sith Dominion podcast. We have a full slate of people on the show tonight with me and Debbie. Debbie, welcome. How you been all week?
I'm fine. Well, it's only Tuesday. See, I even forgot what day it was. That's how bad my week has been.
Oh, my goodness. You sound a little hoarsey.
Yes, my Darth Vader voice. Yeah. I answer the phone and people think they're talking to a guy. So
yes, sir. It's ma'am.
okay. How you doing?
Oh my God. And if I don't know, it shows no one's watching, which is fantastic. Because then we can't confirm whether our show is actually streaming right now. But that's the joy of going at it alone on your own channel. Is it takes a little while to build back up, and that's fine. And speaking of Debbie, you have been adding our shows, most of them you are on as well now, to our new channel. We've got like 15 shows or so already uploaded, something crazy like that. So
I'm up to, I just added one today, episode 14, Revan Part 2.
And are you redoing those title cards? Or were those title cards already existing? Like the thumbnails? For the shows?
Yeah, I'm redoing some of them. Yeah.
You taking the liberty. I appreciate that. I like your initiative, Debbie.
Well, I mean, I made the original or some of the original. Yeah, I made the original.
Some of them.
Well, anyways, I just thought, they kind of look crappy, so.
No, I love it. No, I was looking and I was like, I don't remember that.
I mean, I'm still not good at it, but I try.
Yeah, you're doing it. I'm talking to AI to have them do it for me. I can't even put that together right now. Yeah. Oh my God. What a week. What a week. We have a lot to talk about news-wise. Cameron will be joining the show a little later. He's stuck at work. Our very special guest, Janae, will be joining. She is one of the folks over on Geek News Now at Geek Gauntlet on the weekends. And just all around great contributor to GNN. And so we're excited to have her on later. Zane will not be here tonight. He's off, I think, recording or something with his band. Yeah. Shame on him for chasing a dream. Well, shame on him for chasing a dream and leaving his daddy here all alone with Debbie, who's scaring me, sounding like Toad from the Rascals. I can't.
Don't make me laugh. I'll start a coughing fit.
I love that. I feel like I could say that to you and everyone laugh and no one gets offended. This is great.
It takes a lot for me to get offended.
Especially when your response just then was, it takes a lot. Okay, we're still at 0, but I'm telling you guys, check this. We are having a blast. That reminds me, I got to get all the stuff, the audio uploaded as well. And now that they're on my channel, I know I can download them and extract audio and all that stuff. So I'll start working on that more. So you guys can actually have like a couple of shows to listen to through the week and catch up, starting at episode 1. I don't know that 1, 2, and 3, those were all the ones that I just did by myself with one guest, Zane. And then I think I had Matt Thompson, who has his own podcast still. On that episode 3, but they're okay. It's the first one. The very first one at the very end is the best segment out of all of it, and all it is me trying to figure out how to sign off. And we all know Dana signs off. And what I think, of course, is great because it's, remember, kids, pieces of lie. There's only passion. It's perfect. Well, the first time I said something stupid like "Don't let the dark side get you," or I don't know, but I swear I was never going to say it again. So go to episode 1, just fast forward to the very end because that's the gold. That's the gold. Right? No, but yeah, we've got some stuff to talk about in the news here in a little bit. Some of it being Acolyte cancellation. That just happened yesterday or today. So we'll be talking about that a little bit. We don't have a segment for Zane. And Cameron, I don't know what he's going to talk about because he's been super busy this week. But mostly we'll be talking about the Acolyte. No, shit. We're going to be talking about Attack of the Clones and how it really is Senate infiltration, because that's pretty much the story. This is
Hello there. Little poochie pooch.
Yeah. It stands up to my waist. That's what was happening, was the movings and shakings and goings and comings of the Sith in the background, stirring the pot, getting the separatists here and getting the clone army in place, and all of this being orchestrated by our most famous, wonderful Papa Palpatine. Just brilliant, brilliantly written to have the scope of what he was able to accomplish, and it makes sense. It's not like, oh, he Mary sued from a political standpoint. No, he worked it all the way from beginning to end. So we'll talk a lot about that, and specifically like Dooku and his involvement, and from the Sith perspective, and his seduction to the dark side. That wasn't just a one day he decided. That was a seduction too. And the dark side's like that, right? It's never like, oh my god, they're murdering people, I gotta join. It's not what it is. There's a reason, a deep reason why anyone moves and falls to the dark side. So, okay, we've burned up a little time. So, and we still don't have our guest. Wait 1 second.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. In pre-show, I had like this much, but I thought it was like this much, and so I slammed it back, and it was beautiful. So right now, I smell like Thunderbird. No, just kidding, not Thunderbird. If you know Thunderbird, that's terrible. When I was in college, for real, guys that would graduate and come back and visit, I was an RA, so yeah, I had my own room, whatever. They always would bring me Thunderbird. I had Thunderbird. I was like, why? I never drank it, but now or not now, but I did then, and that's just gut rot. Don't do it. Okay, just for old time's sake. So let's talk about a little bit about the seduction of Anakin before we get into the seduction of Dooku and the Senate piece and all that, because Anakin's this is a very pivotal point for Anakin in his arc, because he loses it and kills everybody, not just the men, the women and the children. He kills everybody, and Yoda felt that. Yeah, he could sense it. No,
he heard Qui-Gon
yelling,
right? No, Anakin, no. And then I think it was,
oh shit,
but yeah, he didn't hear Anakin or hear what Anakin was doing. He heard Qui-Gon,
which would align canonic that
really,
because he was communing like the last lesson he tells later, right? And we know in the Clone Wars there's this exchange with Qui-Gon and all this with Yoda. So having that in there was, I thought, that's pretty cool. And I had totally forgotten about that's what was said. So fear of loss, I think, is something that can do a lot of harm to a lot of folks. There you go, Chewie.
There's my Chewie.
If you think about kind of the what is it, the crimes of passion and these sorts of things, it's all fear of loss. It's I have attachment, and I don't want to lose what I have. Is there? Do you think it's more than that to Anakin, or do you think it is really just kind of a real primal, I love my mom and I'm mad because someone broke her. I love Padme and I'm afraid and fearful for losing her. Or do you, I don't know.
Well, losing his mom was just a stepping stone. Of course, Palpatine has been he praises Anakin, and then he plants those little seeds of doubt. The council, the Jedi Council, they don't see your potential, blah 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 blah. And but then he compliments him. You're doing great. You're going to be the greatest Jedi ever. And I think, and I could be wrong because it's been a while since I've read the books, and I don't even know if it mentions it, but outside of the two deaths, his mom and Padme, I don't think Anakin's ever had visions, or visions, dream visions. So
Well, sorry, go ahead.
it always made me wonder if Palpatine was once again manipulating things, moving things along, pushing him down the path.
Yeah. There was a lot of that. You see, I guess, and we'll talk about that later tomorrow, next week. But there's that moment in Revenge of the Sith where he says, "Remember what you told me about your mother," and blah blah blah. And so he confided in Sidious, Palpatine about what happened, but never did with Yoda. Why do you think he wouldn't share that with his mentor? You think that was a fear also?
Well, he does. When he has that vision of Padme, he goes and talks to Yoda. He doesn't mention it specifically, but he says something about, losing somebody you love, blah, blah, blah. Of course, they've all seen it.
Yeah.
That's what gets me. They all see, because I watched Attack of Clones this weekend, and Obi-Wan's there, Yoda's there. They all see Padme run up to Anakin. This is after Dooku takes off. They all see Padme run up to Anakin and give him a big hug and kiss. And I'm like,
someone gonna do something about that. That's a no.
Yeah, I mean, nobody.
Oh, this guy.
Oh man,
Really, Andrew? Old nerds.
But I am the oldest.
That was diabolical with that. Whew. I think Miley Cyrus had that condition. Sarah. I just Anakin's full the stepping stones or the pieces of the path that occur in Attack of the Clones all have to do with his compassion that I believe goes too far into passion. There is no peace, there's only passion. And
his passion is, I don't even know if I could say borderline, but it's obsessive.
Yeah, that you can tell. I mean, like when he's looking at her, he's in. Yeah, right. This guy,
sure.
Yeah, old friends.
Same thing.
When it's in episode 30, of course, but he's looking at her. He has this look like he's not just undressing her with his eyes, like and it's uncomfortable for us to watch, to know that like you said, it's more than what I'm here but not here. We're waiting.
What the hell, woman? Get on.
I feel like in those moments on Naboo where he's, flirting and using his powers, and this is all like, you're not supposed to do this. Is not the way. Here you are. I'm sorry, I'm getting all pissed. Here you are, Anakin, saying to Padme, I'm not the Jedi I should be. I just killed all these people and all this stuff, right? But you still are doing those other things. Do those things not matter in the same way? it's either all or none, right? Obi-Wan, I think, is a great example of when he messed up, like he would own it and like, yeah, I screwed up. Anakin was not a, I own this and I failed. He's like, I'm not being who I should be.
Mm.
Well, what the F does that mean? Like who should you be? Who are you? Who do you want to be? Because ultimately, he wanted more. He wanted Padme for himself. He didn't want to share her with the Senate or you're going to be in danger. My dreams. It's those. And you're right. I think he was just a little obsessive about her. Obi-Wan would not be pleased with me pushing fruit into your mouth. Where's Cam and Zane? Well, if you were here at the beginning, Andrew, you would have heard. No, Cam he'll be here later, and we'll talk about the acolyte then. And Zane is, I think he's recording with his band, and then yeah, they do. Both of them do like Attack of the Clones, actually, in a way. I think Cameron's, yeah, we'll find out.
Do
Oh
you
wait,
need to let her in?
she hasn't. I sent her the link.
It says joining, but it's not doing anything.
I don't even see her. Here, let me try a different link. Janae, I may have sent you a link prematurely. Like if I jumped into studio after I sent you the link. I'm sorry. Here you go. I don't think that's the same one. No, it is the same one. I mean, it's a guest. I don't know. You should be able just to bounce in there. It's like the old school, just like everybody else. Guests, team, guest. Oh, Janae gets. Oh, okay, Andrew. Andrew, do you want a link? I'll send you a link. You want to jump on? This is the show. Derailed already. But it's freaking 10 minutes in. And who cares? This is what happens when you mess it up and you're having white wine instead of red wine, and everything's just I can't. I'm done.
And he poured it all over his face. So,
And I
it was a
poured it
good
all
way
over.
to start the show.
Oh, he says LOL, but he didn't say he wanted a link. All right, fine. All right, Janae. Oh! He says LOL, but he didn't say
Maybe.
hello. I don't see you.
Hold on.
Oh my goodness. I could, but it's only 15 minutes. Okay.
There it goes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Woo!
Awesome. How are you doing, Janae?
Doing okay. Trying to set up in my husband's office, and usually he sets it up for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna plug this here, this here, this here. Hopefully it works.
Awesome. We're talking about Attack of the Clones right now, but we can put a pause on that because you're our guest and we want to talk to you. So,
Okay.
Janae, artist, amateur photographer, part of the Geek Gauntlet on Saturdays. How long you been on the Geek Gauntlet?
I think it's been almost 2 years now.
Wow. That's a lot of shows. That's a lot of podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, but then you start doubling up because you're a guest here or there, and wow, you guys at GNN just start. You just all go all over all the shows. I say you guys, like I was there. Like, yeah, it's fun. I love the community over there. How long have you been involved with GNN?
The same amount as Geek Gauntlet. I haven't actually guest at any of the shows yet, though. My schedule doesn't line up sometimes.
Nah, no worries. So, what would you say, geekdom wise, is your jam? What's your most favorite geekdom?
Anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any specific?
Well, number one favorite is Sailor Moon.
Hmm.
But I do like the shonen genre and stuff too. So
Very
right
cool.
now, what just got done is Demon Slayer. So we have to wait for a new season of that to drop.
Nice.
So, and then I just finished Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. So I'm waiting for season 3, but I need to research when season 3 is coming out.
So how did you get into anime?
I think one of the very first animes I remember ever watching was when on Sci-Fi, when it was like the summertime, like late at night ones. I remember watching Galaxy Express 999, the movie. But like one of my favorite movies growing up was also Unico, which is also an anime. But like as a kid, you're like, oh, this is a cool cartoon, not knowing it's anime until like years later. So
right.
And
so when
then-
it comes to Star Wars,
Mhm.
what's your jam with Star Wars? Is it the movies? Is it the games? Is it the
I haven't played the games, but I've watched people play the games, and I like enjoy watching that. The original series, I would always watch with my dad. When they re-released it back in theaters, The New Hope and all the rest, we went and rewatched it, and the line was like all the way around the building and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like the prequels. I might have to rewatch the sequels, but I'm not a fan of the sequels. So
Join the club. So of the original trilogy, if you could only watch one forever, what would that be?
Oh, probably the third one. Like my brain's, I can't remember the
Return of the
name of
Jedi?
it. Yeah, Return of the Jedi would be
With
my
those
favorite.
Ewoks?
I also like the Ewoks, so I watched the Ewok movies growing up, and I watched those on my VHS. So.
Oh no. With that little blonde girl in the Crash Star Cruiser, those movies?
Yep.
Oh my god. We were just talking about that a couple weeks ago here. It was terrible. I couldn't. Ugh. Yeah, they're
as a little kid growing up watching it, like, oh, this little girl's like me.
And I feel like I was just on the outside cusp of that edge of that where I would have enjoyed them. I was just a bit too old. Because the Ewoks were Return of the Jedi is my all-time favorite, 100%. Just the whole redemption piece and Luke. And if you know anything about me and have read any of my articles, you know this is important. And when you threw in those teddy bears, I just wanted to kick them. Like, and then when they had the porgs, I was like, oh, I could really punt one of those far, I bet. I called them the puntables. But anyhow, so why Return of the Jedi? Because, I mean, certainly not just because of the Ewoks, right?
Well, I just like, basically, like when Vader is like, wait a minute, this isn't right, kind of a thing. He's like, I'm not going to kill my son. I'm not going to do this. And he like basically redeems himself in a way, kind of a thing. So.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Something about the way that child relationship too is portrayed and acted just so superbly. Chef kiss. So good. I love that so many people don't realize how vicious Ewoks really were. You know, thank you, Kat. Where did they get the dress for Leia to change into?
They probably stole it from
Yum.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they seem pretty quick and easy and experienced, putting them on a spit and getting them ready to freaking light up.
Wicket knows what to do.
That's messed up. And then it fits, so maybe they have an MO too. Like, oh no, these female shape, that's tender, it's perfect. That's where you got to go. But you're right.
Is wanting attention.
Right.
She does this on every show.
Josiah, what's up, brother? Cameroni is running a little bit behind, but he will be here. I promise.
I'm glad
Well,
I'm
he
not the
promised
only
me.
one. I feel bad.
Do what?
I said I'm glad I'm not the only one. I feel bad.
Oh, no. Debbie and I can carry a show. We just choose not to. Let me pour another glass of wine. This is going great. So, Janae, on the first chunk of movies, the prequels, we talked a lot on this show just about the depth and breadth of what was really there, even politically. That was implied. A lot of stuff it was just really they are good movies. It's just there are some acting choices, directing choices that I wouldn't have made, but that's nobody asked me, so whatever. At the end of the day, what is it about those movies? Now, I get the nostalgia and just the core of the original trilogy, but what is it about those maybe that you feel a little closer to than, say, the newer ones?
I like that we get to see like how Vader became Vader, kind of thing. It's just like, oh, he's just this little kid that fixed different things like robots and ships and things like that, and then he got adopted to become a Jedi, and then they went from there. I thought that was pretty cool that we got to see like it all come together, kind of a thing, the backstory.
Yeah,
because I never read the books or anything like that. So,
of those, which is your go-to of those three?
The second and third one are my favorites. Like, I understand the first one, but it's kind of like, I can go with or without it, because sometimes Anakin as a little kid got a little annoying. So it's like, okay, let's have more Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan stuff.
Yeah, no, agreed. Agreed. Well, what we were chatting about right before you got on, to segue into to where we were, that's great. We were talking about Attack of the Clones. We were talking about kind of the seduction of Dooku. We put a pin in that, and we went to Anakin, and that there really was on screen a lot of things that we were able to see challenging him in his. Oh God, are you shitting me? That's a terrible name. What are you doing? What is he doing?
No, my bad.
Cameron.
My bad. I'll change it. I'll change it back. I love Jar Jar. No hate. What's up, guys?
What's up, Cam?
Sorry I'm late.
No worries. Your number one fan was asking where you were at. To catch you up, we have Janae on the show.
What's up,
Janae from Geek Gauntlet over on Geek News Now Network on Saturdays. Go check them out. And we were talking about we came back around to Attack the Clones, and what we started in on was Anakin, his compassion leading to passion, and in Debbie's words, borderline obsession with like Padme, but even his own mother. I mean, he was obsessed with these two people in his life, and maybe the obsession with, I don't know, what are y'all's thoughts? The obsession with Padme extended because of what had happened to his mother and his separation from her. Would you agree, disagree, and why?
No, I mean, I agree. I think George tries to lay the foundation for that in the Phantom Menace when young Anakin calls her an angel, kind of insinuating she's the most beautiful person he's ever seen and whatnot. And I think
it's Natalie Portman.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but
I can't disagree.
I think too, especially once he loses his mom, probably the only other person he loves as much as Padme, it kind of adds that layer of he doesn't want to lose. It's the whole plot of the third movie. So,
yeah, I think his attachment to Snips extends through that as well. Those are really the only females that I'm aware of, unless. No, I think those are really the only females in his life that, one, were so influential for him, But he lost one, right? And then he loses another, and then in episode 3 he loses another. So I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I don't know how to articulate my question here. Why do you feel, or do you feel that was his destiny to just be that was what led him there, or was that some of Palpatine's orchestration?
No, I mean, you could say a mixture of both. I think Palpatine played on the fact that Anakin was an emotional basket case. But I think too, it just kind of makes the Jedi's whole point of he's too old, and their whole point with that, like these children have already formed these attachments. Like, they took Obi-Wan when he was so young, he doesn't remember anything about his family, which I think is talked about in the Brotherhood book, maybe. I don't know, something. But like, that's like the whole point. But that's also what makes Anakin special, because he was just a different duelist when he got angry or he played off his emotion. Like, that's, I think in the Revenge of the Sith book, Dooku kind of, Palpatine tells Dooku to like play on that, like antagonize Anakin, and then Dooku kind of gets overwhelmed with just how
Palpy knew what he was doing.
Yeah. And so I think that's just what makes Anakin special, is his emotion. It makes his fall relatable, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, relatable. So in that relationship with his mother, the relationship with Padme, Clone Wars, so relationship with Ahsoka. I kind of look at your own life and females that have been extremely influential in your life, and it's the relatives, or my grandmother or my mother, or my third girlfriend or whatever. Like, she just got me, and these sorts of things that I understand creating those connections, and when you don't have those connections, you're empty. How do you feel that? I think it plays out, and I want to know y'all's thoughts when Padme falls off of the troop carrier. He's losing his shit. Like, he's like, I gotta go back. We gotta go back and save her. What would she do? You're in position or whatever. Like, just like, I get it. They're upset and he's frustrated, but I don't know. What would you do in that situation? Were you Anakin? Would you want to turn around? Would you have ignored Obi-Wan, or would you have just obeyed the way that he did?
I think he had to obey.
What was the alternative? If he had gone down there, I mean, I don't know what would have happened. He wouldn't have lost an arm. Because he never would have gotten to Dooku.
So I don't know if they would have. I don't know if they would have kicked him out of the Jedi Order, or if there would have just been some really bad
repercussion. Yeah, I just did it too. I don't know. I can't say it.
Yeah, I think my NyQuil is kicking in. So.
Yes. So everyone knows, she did tell me 10 minutes before the show that 10 minutes prior she had taken some NyQuil. So we are on a time limit with Debbie, folks.
You're always on a time limit with me. You never know what's going to happen.
Oh my God. So as we're looking at this though from a dark side perspective, Janae, when it comes to Obi-Wan, I'm sorry, when it comes to Dooku and all of those bits with Anakin, how do you feel, or how does anyone feel? But I don't. How did that still staying up there? No, Jar Jar was not amazing. How do you feel about Dooku's taunting? Because in that saber fight, even in episode 2, Dooku's taunting him.
Yeah,
he's taunting. Do you feel that just irked him or got him more pissed off?
I think Dooku was wanting to get him mad, so he would like stray more, kind of like to the dark side, be like, hey, if you feel like this, and then you're battling and doing much better, It's like, because he was saying that, like, Master Yoda said that you could rival Obi-Wan. I don't see it, kind of a thing. And that just made him angry because, like, throughout the, like, rewatching it last night from, even though my son was interrupting every 5 seconds asking what was going on.
They do.
He's 4. So this is like, besides the new Star Wars cartoons, he hasn't really watched the movies yet.
Great parent.
And he was taunting him a lot, but because I think he was trying to sway him more to the dark side. Oh, you're feeling this way, you can do this. Because, like, even before that, like, I wasn't sure if I heard it wrong, but I swear I thought Dooku was saying to even Obi-Wan, if you join me, we can destroy the Sith. I'm like, but aren't you Sith? So are you tricking him into, quote, destroying the Sith so he becomes Sith? I was confused, so I was going to rewatch it because I thought I misheard that. But I think he was just playing mind games and to try to get him closer to where he needed to be, so that way Palpatine could plant more seeds of this. If you were in the dark side, this could happen, and it could benefit you more than staying on the light side.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and I think you make a great point. The dark side is so sorry, I don't want to say the dark side is so good at, but
well, they do have cookies.
They do.
At least that's what I've seen. Because they have cookies.
I feel like you end up, whatever is your crux, right? Like whatever it is that's your anchor is what's attacked. And when you look at Tales of the Jedi and you look at Dooku, you hear Dooku speak to Obi-Wan Kenobi about join me and we can destroy the Sith together. I just don't feel in episode 2 he was all in Sith. I really don't. I think he was still holding on, Dooku, to his ideology that the Jedi were wrong, the Senate was stupid, and it just needed to be fixed. Because really, that's where Dooku was coming from as a bureaucrat, politician, count in the universe, and then also being a Jedi, and then also being someone of influence that he could bring the separatists together the way that he did. So all of that to say, Dooku has something that was being played upon by the dark side, which was all what we just said. And then Anakin with the mother, with Padme, Snips, all of that being orchestrated as well. So I want to kind of, why didn't Obi-Wan, what was it that Obi-Wan had or didn't have that he was not, that he didn't fall the way that others did? Because he did have that Satine little, it was Satine, right?
Mhm.
Little side gig with Satine. But he didn't fall. Why do you think that is?
Oh, he would have if she would have asked. He would have. He even said that.
Yeah,
Did you just snort some wine?
Maybe. It's burning. Okay, so you think he would have? You don't think he could have said no?
He told her so when
that's
she
true.
was dying in the Clone Wars.
So it's one of those where, like, a good thing that she's dead, because otherwise,
Yeah,
I don't think he falls to the dark side though, given any
No.
opportunity. No,
I
it's
think he
just-
would have just walked away and
Yeah,
lived happily ever after.
yeah. Are we still on this kick that he might be one of the greatest Jedi ever?
no, he's not. He's one of, but not the.
Okay. Who's the?
You already know who the is, bro.
Oh, if you don't, come on, dude. We're gonna LS swap this. If you, my car guys know what LS swap is.
Luke.
Man, Luke is the greatest Jedi ever. Not what was portrayed on screen in those last.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's not Luke Skywalker.
We're not gonna go there tonight. That's for another episode.
Those movies do not exist.
I think one of the pieces here that's extremely important is when Dooku and him are talking, as you brought up, Janae, that he's his heart, Dooku's heart is still in it. He's not heartless. He knows he wants what he wants, and he knows the injustices that are done. But Padme, the Senate outlawed slavery, years ago or whatever. Not out here. So I think those sorts of things he was well, and Tales of the Jedi really kind of lose it. Why can't we intervene? Why can't we do the things? I like this Shield Maiden. That's a good one. Hold on. Gunsmoke situation. If Dylan ever asked Miss Katie to marry him, she sure as hell would have said yes, but he never did. But that was what was great and kept the tension, right? Yeah, this Obi-Wan. So what do you think, Cam, when it comes to Dooku and that conversations he's having specifically with Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan holds true and fast to his belief. And when Dooku says, "I really wish your old master was here," do you think he was just effing with them, or do you think he was serious?
No, I think he was serious.
Based on maybe some of the stuff we learned too in Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Tales of the Jedi fit in so perfectly with the story. Is because it fills in that gap. Dooku's about to slaughter that senator that's got this town hostage, and they got the senator's son, and Qui-Gon just knows what actually needs to be done in that situation, but he doesn't why'd you do that, Master? Whatever. He of course, we don't see it. Maybe that conversation did happen, but cuts the guy's handcuffs off and go save your father.
Yeah.
But no, I think it would have been interesting to see what happens if Qui-Gon lives for a multitude of things, not only for Anakin, but also Dooku and Council. And it completely changes the narrative. That's what makes that battle we talked about last week so much more significant in the saga.
I didn't even think of it from that perspective though till we were talking about that. If Qui-Gon lives, then you have an entirely different movie or a series and an entirely different Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, episodes 4, 5, and 6 don't happen.
So let's talk about. Go ahead.
Because Obi-Wan would have gone through the trials, and then if he would have survived, then Qui-Gon would have tried to train Anakin, wouldn't he have?
Yeah.
Or do you think Obi-Wan still had a Padawan?
No, I think Qui-Gon leaves the council because they don't allow Anakin to train. Pretty much the only reason they do it is, in my opinion, is because they, Obi-Wan says to Yoda after Qui-Gon dies, I have to train him. I made a promise to Qui-Gon, whether that be, in the council or out. And it's well, are we going to lose Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, or do we just make an exception, make an exception for the chosen one, so they say. So
the council agrees. The boy will be trained, but agree with this decision. I do not. Oh, okay, you pompous little asshole. Okay, so you don't agree. So everyone else I never picked up on that. I think I mentioned this a couple months ago. Never really picked up on that. He was pissed. Yoda was mad because he was going to train Anakin. But I think there was a little pride nugget in there. And that's what made, from my perspective, in episode 3, when he said, "I'm going into egg," he knew he effed up. And he could have approached this, I think, a lot different.
He's just mad because he didn't find the chosen one.
900 years and I still failed. No, he did all right, Yoda. What was that? I missed it.
Oh, I said screwed up. I did, but in the Yoda voice.
Absolutely. So let's move a little into some Dooku, Anakin stuff, and we'll play a little bit here because what happens in episode 2 during the duel, you have Obi-Wan and there's no way that Dooku should have beat them except for Anakin's hot head. Can we agree? I mean, if he would have,
no, I think Dooku wins.
You think
In
so?
my opinion, yeah. I don't think Anakin's the duelist that he is in Episode 3, let alone Obi-Wan either. I think
teamwork makes the dream. Sorry, I can't even say that. But it's
yeah, but he solos them multiple times in the Clone Wars.
True.
You know, he pretty much switches. I saw this YouTube video one time breakdown of like a lot of times when they do the 2v1s, he isolates Anakin, putting Anakin on the defensive, which is the complete opposite of what his style is, and then puts Obi-Wan on the offensive, which Obi-Wan isn't comfortable with unless you watch the last Kenobi episode. But I think Episode 2, Count Dooku wins, even if Anakin's not being hot-headed.
You bring up a good point about the isolation piece. He does that in both episodes. He isolates Anakin. He gets rid of so that he can work on Anakin. And I'm worried about Anakin and when I'm watching this the first time, because I'm like, don't. He's luring you in. Don't fall. I mean, you can see the shit happening, and what are you doing? Don't do it. Which I think makes it all that much more, as you say, relatable in many ways, because we've all been there, right? Like, I can't control the outcome of what's happening, so I'm gonna do what I can to try to take control of the outcome. Anakin, wait, no, and everybody gets hurt, and you lose an eye. Next thing you know, someone loses an eye. So, when we look at that part, do you feel that was orchestrated, that duel? Or that meeting, do you feel was positioned and orchestrated by Papa Palpatine? The hope of the opportunity for them to meet on the battlefield.
I mean, in a sense, yes. I don't think the plan was for Count Dooku to chop Anakin's arm off. I don't think I know for a fact Palpatine didn't like that very much. Even in Episode 3, Dooku's still trying to ask if Palpatine will want to turn Obi-Wan, but Palpatine tells him no, he's too indoctrinated and all that. But because Dooku had a thing where he viewed people that had robotics and Grievous as like lesser beings, like they're not like pure in a sense, and then Palpatine's response was, well, maybe if you didn't cut off his arm, he would, So it's like the meeting was orchestrated, but maybe not the events that transpired in the meeting were exactly as Palpatine designed. I don't think he's that omnipotent, but maybe he is in your eyes.
Well, of course, he's my favorite. So when you have, he took your arm, you took his head. Like, it's just like so matter of fact.
It's a fair trade.
Yeah, 1 for 1. Turn the other head. Okay. One of the bits here I bring up in the outline, which, as I said, Janae, we're fast with the outline. I did not make a poll, but the question in the poll that I was gonna post has to do with Anakin, specifically in the moment with Padme in the little shop where he's talking to her about the sand. And of course, that's where we get that piece from. We talk about him not being the Jedi I should be. We talk about he's like a father to me, and but I hate him. All the things that I think most of us have been through when speaking about a father, parental mother figure, when it comes to Obi-Wan, and not doing the things that I should be doing because I know I should be doing them X way, and everybody will be happy if I do them, but I just can't do them. Do you feel that's partly too what makes this character relatable? His fall relatable?
Probably, because like I think he's also, it's almost like in a way like he's stunted because like he's been working since he's a child, and now he got ripped away from his mom to go train, and then Padme has like been the first soundboard because like he can't go complain to any other Padawans or anything about like his grievances with Obi-Wan or like how he's feeling and stuff, because they're like, well, you need to train better because you shouldn't be failing like this kind of a thing.
Sure.
So I think that's, and it's growing pain, like he's going through growing natural teenager growing pains, and like I think it is very relatable. It was rewatching it, I was like, I remember going through that, and like not like no one's listening to me. This is how frustrated I'm feeling with things going on, and so he finally found that person. It's like, no wonder why I like this movie.
Why couldn't Obi-Wan be that for him? And this is I think I know the answer, but why couldn't, I mean, as close as he was with Obi-Wan, why couldn't he share those things with Obi-Wan? Why couldn't he be that way with Obi-Wan? Because Padme knew about the Sand People. She was there. She knew that just happened. Obi-Wan didn't know, or did he?
No.
He didn't know.
And so do you feel, though, that, I mean, something like that occurs? We've known people that have been through some really traumatic things, like, you know, where maybe war, or some folks that we know in the military, whatever, you know, you're not the same after something occurs. And so I look at what happened with Anakin as maybe some PTSD. He saw his mother, he just lost his mind, and then from there it was all downhill. Like, he, from that moment on, really was a different person. That what he experienced with the Sand People changed him.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Anyone? Like, that fundamentally changed his heart and who Anakin Skywalker was.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had two brothers who were over in Vietnam. One brother came back, never talked about it. I mean, even if you tried to bring it up, I mean, he would just shut off. He'd shut down. He wouldn't talk about it. The other brother, one was in the Army, one was in the Navy. The other brother, I don't think he was in the thick of things as much as the first brother. So he had a totally different experience. And I mean, he always told stories and everything, but yeah, the first brother, no. Yeah,
go ahead.
I think he just, you know, he was changed when he came back in certain ways, not like a totally, you know, 180, but I mean, there was just things that, you know, we knew how he was before, and then when he came back, it was just okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's totally plausible.
You're taking folks that, you know, probably weren't 5 or 6 years old thinking this is what I want to do. They just had to get thrown into it. And, you know, the Jedi, I don't, for all the crap I give the Jedi, they were thrown into a situation of becoming more militant than they were. They were peacekeepers. They were not a military leader, generals, and whatever. This was commanders. They were Jedi. They were monks. They were religious followers of the Force. They weren't. And so I think when you start to change the function of a group of, say, monks, well, what do you expect's going to happen? They're not going to be able to process. They don't have the skill set to deal with these things, like throwing kids into war. That's not what I'm not getting a one side or another with how I feel on this. What I'm saying is relatable to folks that we know and the terrible things that do happen. So fundamentally, I think we can agree that Anakin really took a huge step into Darth Vader's skin with the destruction of the Sand People. So what, if anything, do you feel that Padme could have done or said in that moment, maybe to help him? Because you could say, Natalie Portman is just amazing. You can see she acted it well. The concern that I don't know what to tell you. Maybe he's like a father to me. Everything she said, he just whined about even more. Like, what else could she have maybe said that maybe would have helped him a little more? I don't know.
I don't think there's anything she can say. I mean, I think she handled it probably as best as, and like most people would have done.
Joe. Yeah, because that's horrible. I just told you I just killed all these freaking and she stand by your man, I guess.
Well, they just murdered his mom. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, it's terrible, but I mean,
justification.
What are we? What are we doing here, folks? Where are we in society? That's so yeah, I get it. Like, I have a switch. It's been flipped once before. I don't want to ever see it flipped again. We have those things in us inherently that you can't control. And I think I'm with you, right? Like, he saw his mother on the rack. Okay, my daughter calls me while I'm on the show. I love you, but Tuesday night's the show. So if it's an emergency, please. She usually watches too. I don't know what she's doing. Now I lost my train of thought. So someone's gonna have to take the helm here.
Well, I mean, if you notice when he gets on that speeder bike and he's taken off into the sunset, literally. Duel of the Fates plays.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, I mean, the first time it was played, it's depending on who survives, Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon, as to what Anakin's fate will be. This time when it's played, it's his own choice. He could have made the choice to not go. To go save his mom, but just kind of do it stealthily. But no, he chose the fate of going down that dark side and wiping out the men, the women, and the children,
and those
dogs. Or whatever they were.
Janae, what were you saying?
Oh, I was agreeing. It's like he could have made a choice, but he just lost it because he was like, oh, I'm having these nightmares. I'm sensing something's wrong with my mom. They go and it's like, oh, she's not here. And I can understand the sheer panic of I need to find her right away. And he probably basically, was he listed all the things that he did, but it was almost like he blacked out, but not blacked out kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever I had talked to my dad about my grandpa, because he was in World War II, I was just like, did he ever talk about the war? He's like, no. Anytime it brought up, he was zip-lipped and stuff like that. He would always just say, I want to get out of here and stuff like that. Because he got a medal from France for saving some Frenchmen. He's like,
oh, nice.
They just followed me.
Yeah.
I was just get out of the way, kind of a thing. So he would never want any admiration or anything like that.
It's the whole the heroes are the ones that don't come back, right? And so I was just doing my job. Absolutely.
And so I can totally understand what Anakin going through with losing a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would do anything to get that person back. Anything. And so probably in his mind, he's like, maybe if I slaughter all these people, that one person will come back, make me feel better that these people were horrible people and killed my mom, kind of a thing.
Do we know, and I haven't read the novelization, do we know if he had seen his mother at any point in that 10 or so years from the time he was taken to the moment he saw her in that state?
No, they hadn't seen each other
All
since
right,
then.
fuck it. I'd flip shit too. I'd lose my mind. And my mom and I aren't super close. You know, like we used to be. We're not anymore. I love my mother. It's just not as close as we once were. But I'd still lose my damn mind if I saw something like that. I can understand that. I don't know that I'd have the self-control to not just, die in the process of killing whoever was responsible. And it's not really about like I have a violent touch or a violent side to me. I don't. But when it comes to mine and my people, my tribe, that's a whole different animal. And so when I had asked earlier about Palpatine and his potential involvement in this, those dreams and those visions that he was having about his mother being in danger or in pain or what have you, were those planted or were those real? And I ask because of the same thing that happened to Padme, which we believe was Palpatine implanting that stuff. So what was the difference, if there was one, or was he really sensing or experiencing her pain? What do you think, Cam?
I mean, from what I've read, I don't think he directly influenced the dreams. I just think he's just so powerful in the Force that he could feel the conflict, could feel, the fact that Anakin's having these dreams, these questions of what's happening. You know what I mean? But I haven't read anywhere where he directly influenced the dreams.
Sure.
Or directly influenced the fact that, like, had a direct impact on Anakin's mom being captured or anything like that.
I mean, you're the lore master version 2, so.
No, I'm massive spreader of misinformation if my lore master's not here.
I wanna kind of touch. I don't want to get political. This show is not a political show. We are in a political season here in the real world, and politics play a huge part in Star Wars, in developing the framework for the story. It really does. I mean, it's a galactic civil war. It's a mess. And it starts with the Separatists as civil war, and then we have peace, quote unquote, for 30 years, 20 years, and then we have the second civil war. When it comes to the ability to I don't know how to articulate this, the scope of people that lost their life, people, species, whatever, that lost their lives because of what has happened. Wait, what's private? Did I miss something?
Spoilers, dude.
Debbie, Nyquil's taking over. Okay, hold on, we'll pause. Debbie, I know. Just, and the cat's like sensing it. It's all over the place. Something's wrong with Mama. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, the cat's like, stay awake, Mom, stay awake.
I gotta go out one more time. No, all right, Debbie, thank you. Go get well, feel better, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Hi, Debbie.
Okay, now that she's gone. Man, Debbie carrying the show before Janae showed up. So again, I don't want to get political, but how, when you look at the political landscape of Star Wars, you see how both sides were imperfect. Both sides were imperfect. You had the Separatists that had their, we want this freedom of not being under the rule of the Republic and follow the rules. And then you had the Republic saying, what are you doing? We don't trust that you're not going to come at us when you separate. And that's where we're at in episode 2. What is left out, and we see, and we've mentioned in the show, in some of the video games, are some cut scenes here and there, deleted scenes in the movies where they do talk about the political piece of this and how those inner workings of the bureaucrats, the inner workings of the wheeling and dealing. We see that in Andor. Oh my God, do we see that in Andor? Yeah, Andor's with Mon Mothma. Yeah. We see all that. Do either of you feel like, and again, I don't, this isn't a political show, but that it's relatable to seeing kind of this push and pull and tug back and forth, even like Lucas writing this way back, and here we are today and still kind of seeing that same thing? Because ultimately, if you think about it, the goal of Palpatine was to create separation.
Yeah.
Once the separation was created, then he could play the sides against each other so he himself could be placed into power and everything. At last we will have peace, as he says. I don't think we have anyone at that level of crazy. But certainly, I mean, I can relate. I can see that happening even today and for the last decade of folks trying to keep us separated. Sorry, I had to.
It popped in my head too, so yeah. It's okay.
It's okay. Outcast or Offspring. Sorry, not Outcast. That's a whole different band. So the last bit on the Attack of the Clones that we're going to talk about a little more is just a last bit on the seduction piece. So ultimately, at the end of Attack of the Clones, Anakin gets married to Padme. And Padme and him are pictured on Naboo at the end of that. And to Debbie's point, at the very beginning of Revenge of the Sith, Anakin and her are embracing right there in front of Mace and Kenobi and everybody. Like, how do they not know? How do they not see Anakin running off to go elope to Naboo? Like, do we not think, and maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but that sort of behavior lends itself to someone that's probably not going to follow the rules of the Jedi moving forward. Mm-hmm. Can we agree? Wasn't it outlawed by the Jedi to not have attachment?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that Jedi didn't have attachments to a certain scale. I would argue every Jedi had attachments, just some more than others. And how did they let the attachment influence their decision making in the end?
I think ultimately they want an objective, like 100% objective, non-attached to any sort of waveform, feeling, anything, so they can make a judgment. And I really felt that the Jedi were much like that. They were portrayed that way really bad in The Acolyte, which we're about to talk about.
Yippee.
But it
Where's the soundboard? Hooray!
This is going to be awesome. In the words of Homer, this is going to be great. What will end up happening, as we know, one marriage destroyed the whole universe. Mm-hmm. So be careful who you marry, kids, because if you marry the wrong person, you could destroy the entire universe. Be responsible for billions of people. 300,000 on the Death Star alone, the first one. So
great shot, Luke.
Oh, great shot. Dude was just trying to feed his family. He's being like sweeping. Next thing you know, he's atomized.
Shouldn't have been fighting for the Nazis, brother.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You always have a choice. Let's not. Awesome. Well, this was great. I think the seduction and the things that we've talked about with Anakin are going to play right into episode 3. We've touched on episode 3 a little bit, but we need to move on. We held on to this. But don't get us like suspended, Cam. But
I've spent more time talking about this and thinking about this show than the actual showrunners have done. I have put more thought into how this show could have been better than anyone did.
Okay, so I'm going to make this statement, and if you haven't seen the show on GNN from a month or two ago, we talked about how the way they ended it with Khmer and these sorts of things, we actually would have been fine with another season.
Just him, though.
If
Just
that
him,
was
though.
more the focus, right?
It wasn't going to be.
I scoured the web in an hour or so and was able to find a lot of folks that felt the same way, that were very vocal about it. So then it's like, okay, yeah, we have the toxic jerks that are like, F it all. I don't think none of us were like 100% this wholly is trash. There's like 2 instances that are great or okay.
Yeah, go. Way to reword that,
I don't want your head to explode. But so here is a good chunk of the fandom saying, no, okay, let's see what you can do with this potential that you've created in Khmer. Ooh, the actor, I can't remember his name. Not Diego. What's his name? Shit. But he's so good. He did so well with the character. He was my favorite character.
Manny Jacinto.
There you go. Thank you. Next to Soul. He was my favorite. When we had this announcement of nope, not going to be a season 2 after all. What was your initial feeling? Janae, did you see the Acolyte?
I did. I was poor Kat. I kept asking her questions. I'm like, I'm not understand. What is the witches? What's this? What's this? She was very supportive and let me, because I only know like the movies. I don't play the games. And all that, and it's just I was so confused on what was happening.
Yeah.
And she explained it, and I was like, okay. Now I was like, why are we just jumping into something like someone like me who's only watched like other shows and just the movies? It's like you would think that they would give like a little bit of backstory, like a brief backstory, like sure. Even like with the movies, it even gives you a little backstory with the words just flying in space really quick. Like,
right.
Oh, this is what's happening. This is what happened in the last 3 years. This. It's like, okay, I'm up to speed now. Let's go. Kind of a thing.
It literally only takes 3 sentences. Help me understand what's happening. I get you.
And so, but it was still very much Jedi based, and I get it because it's like you want the people that are the light side to like wanting to watch this, but there are a lot of people that want the dark side stuff. And so, but I just wish it was like explained better, because like a lot of people got mad. It's like, okay, but do you know the lore? After Kat explained it to me, it's like, okay, I'm not as annoyed of what was going on in some of the scenes. But it's like they could have just sat down, wrote it better, instead of just saying, oh, we're just going to do whatever we want to, or this is how we think it should go, kind of a thing. But I think like a season 2, like if they would have gotten a season 2, been able to remedy what happened in season 1, like a little bit more backstory. Oh, this is what the witches are. This is what this is. This is why they were doing this. And this is what an acolyte is, and things like that. So.
Totally. I mean, the excitement for fandom whenever Thrawn walked on stage, but there may not have been a lot of some folks that didn't know who Thrawn was. I'm not saying that with you. I mean, there could have been. And I know.
I was like, what is this? Why?
Who's this blue dude with red eyes?
This dude lurking, like being a creeper. What's going on?
And he's and for those that don't know, I mean, he's one of the most brilliant brilliant strategists period ever in the Star Wars universe. He's so amazing. And what they did to him in the Acolyte, or not the Acolyte. Yeah. No, I'm thinking Ahsoka. Holy cow, I got all twisted. Oh wow, I went off the edge here. We were talking about. You know what? What are you talking about there, Cam? Because I totally just talked about the wrong show. The first week, The Acolyte had 488 minutes. Somebody divide that by 45 minutes and then divide that by whatever, how many people. But what you end up with is about a third of your audience is gone after 2 weeks. The third episode was, in my opinion, the absolute worst, and that is reflected there. What about? Wait, I thought there were 8 episodes. Oh, we didn't get that.
They did. They aired the first 2 together, I believe.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves that folks were not enjoying it, and to your point, Janae, if there's stuff there that they said it was standalone and you didn't have to know. Didn't they say that, Cameron? When they were pimping it, they were saying...
Well, when they were pimping it, yeah, but they then came out and said we were writing this for a season 2, which is the exact opposite of how you should handle a TV show, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I do just overall lack of reverence, I think, for the story, and let's just tell our own thing. So it's not happening. Season 2 is not happening, and I'm okay with that. I wish we would have had something, but honestly, I don't know that I could trust that they wouldn't F it up.
I don't know what they're doing, man. They don't. And I said this in our Discord earlier today, and if you're not in the Discord, you should totally join. Pop that link. We can pop that link down there for you. But you guys have to think. Bad TV does not typically get renewed, whether it's a freaking hospital show that's on USA or whatever. Bad TV typically does not get a following season. Bad, expensive TV really isn't going to get renewed because you didn't make them any money. Kenobi was bad viewership wise. It's not getting a season 2. Boba Fett was bad. Not getting a season 2. Thank God.
Okay, look.
Great character. And those had actors that people remembered, grew up with, and liked, and it still wasn't good. Mostly because the people behind the projects, even Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, just nobody at Lucasfilm knows what they're doing. But like, nobody watched the show. It was very divisive, and that was the point of them making the show, taking a playbook out of Rian Johnson's playbook, I guess, which see how that works out for you. But like, there's no reason it should have got a season 2.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good TV show. On top of whatever other stuff that's wrong with the show that we don't have to talk about because they're not that type of show. It wasn't good TV. Inconsistent characters, inconsistent writing, absolute spit in the face of established lore, whether it be Legends or already established lore. Like, who wants to watch that?
I don't.
Because I've said this before. My stepdad showed me Star Wars. He has no idea who Darth Plagueis is. They only put Plagueis in there because they knew people that have some semblance of what Legends and other stuff that he's been a part of would know who that is, and that would get them back. They show my little green man that they can't decide if he's 900 years old when he's supposed to be 700 or whatever. If he's a puppet, if he's CGI or whatever, they can't decide. They show him in there to get people back. Like, they're stupid. They're stupid. These are the same people that did not get Han, Luke, and Leia on the same screen together.
Okay, see, and that's where
they're stupid. They don't know what they're doing.
How do you not have those guys on the same screen at the same time?
They need to clean house over there, and everybody.
Top down.
Gasoline down. And back up again. Don't release anything. Literally, just 5 years. Give us a break. Give everybody a break.
And I know your passion is shining through right now. It really isn't about a hatred. It's about a passion for the lore and what has been established. You're breaking, and by breaking it, it's okay to make modifications to tell your story or whatever.
Lucas did it all
within
the
that.
time. Nobody cares about that. They want it to be good, and they want it to make sense.
That's what they care about. And it doesn't matter the fandom being accused of some really terrible words that they were being called. No, at least from the groups I'm in, it has nothing to do with that BS. It's all about like what you just said. It's shit writing, man. The actresses, the actors, the folks that are playing these roles are doing the best they can with what they got. I have my own opinion about some of the stuff that was said on the tour, and that's separate from their craft. Okay, when it comes to their craft and what BS they say, I can make that separation. And within their craft, I believe they did the best they could with what they were given within their own skill set. So when I hear someone like Kamir is not getting that chance to be more center stage, that's frustrating to me because that piece of the story has so much potential, and they blew it.
Well, he's Plagueis' apprentice. They literally tell us that 2 weeks after the episode comes out, and you're like, okay, and then you're starting to think, well, what? And you're like, okay. I mean, he's at least interesting, kind of cool, maybe. Who knows? But I mean, he's not the main character. Mm-hmm. The twins are the main characters, and nobody cares about them because they're not interesting.
About Kamir and Soul. No one's talking about May and Osha.
Yeah, because they're the same person. The only way that you know that they're different people is their clothes and at one point the hair.
Listen,
other than that,
Haley Mills
did
a great job.
Who?
Haley Mills.
Who's that?
She was in the original Parent Trap, and she did a great job being two people. Lindsay Lohan, whatever, she did a great job being two different people.
Well, the freaking guy on Game of Thrones that plays the Lannister twins.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon. He did a good job.
No, that's actually twins, I believe.
Who?
The House of the Dragon twins. I believe they're actually twins.
No, it's just it's the same guy, isn't it?
I gotta look that up. House of the Dragon.
Because they were talking about the extra creds and stuff that was like extra emotional. They had to go through the fight scenes and stuff.
No, the Night Guard, the Knights, yes, but the Lannister guy, it's the same person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was with Janae. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, got you.
What?
The Kingsguard, those were actual twins, but the Lannister.
Yeah. That's what I thought you were talking about for a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I get it. It's tough when you're trying to find a set of twins that can do the same. You know, like I understand that. We had that with Harry Potter. I can't remember their names, but the Weasleys. Real twins, real fun, and that's hard to do. That's hard to get. It's hard to cast. It's much easier to just double anymore. But this is nothing against her, but you gotta have like a really seasoned actor by that age. Lindsay Lohan, I for whatever you think about her, she did a great job in that remake of The Parent Trap. But she had how many years of acting under her belt? She was already a seasoned pro. Haley Mills, same way back in the 60s, 70s version of this movie. I'm using this as the example because it's the same damn thing.
Well, they gotta have something to work with too, man. I mean that's the core crux of it. On top of them, just they're doing the best they can, but they didn't really have a lot to work with, and that starts at the top, and that starts with Leslie Headland, and then Kathleen and Dave and people that signed off on things happening. And I mean,
how is it that Kathleen Kennedy can be behind such projects as Signs, which I had never seen. I just saw like a week ago for the first time, and I thought, what a strange, bizarre, but great movie. Like, I enjoyed it. And then I see the credits roll, and I'm like, like, are you kidding me, Kathleen Kennedy? Like, my wife's like looking at me like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm losing my shit. She goes, "You not like the movie?" No, I love the movie. But Kathleen
That's
Kennedy
funny.
can suck it. Like, I just, it's unfair. I do not know her. We don't know her. We don't know what conversations happen in the background. We don't know. No, we don't know. We don't know. It's just hard from where we're sitting as the consumer to have to just keep being spoon-fed shit because but like, to your point, Cameron, you've said it, I've said it. If it's released, I'm gonna give it a shot every damn time, and they know that. They know that you're gonna at least watch it once. That's all they care about. They get you once, all right, we had the viewership, let's move on to something else. It just didn't work.
Right.
I mean, to a certain extent, but they got to keep the Disney Plus subscriptions up, which is what they're releasing a lot of their projects on. And I don't think there's, on top of the corporate cesspool that is Disney, I don't think there's any visionaries at Lucasfilm that care about the source material, that care about making good projects. People want to say Dave, but Dave also has a responsibility as a husband, and I believe he has children to provide.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're going to keep signing his checks, he's probably just going to do whatever he can to keep getting a check, right?
Yeah.
So I think they have a bunch of yes people, to be politically correct, in the room. And I think they also have certain Disney at its core has lost what's made it special, and they Lucasfilm especially is struggling because they have run Star Wars into the ground, and there's no manipulating of financial statements that they can put out saying that they've made back what they paid for it, because they continue to alienate their audience by either press tours for their shows that are coming out and or just not putting good projects out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is a shame, because a project like Andor should be maybe not beloved, but man, that's a really good Andor, that was a really good show. You know, I mean, I'm not in love with it. I mean, I rewatched the first episode a few nights ago with Woods, and I was like, man, I remembered why it took me a little bit to get into the show, but like, holy shit, that really ended like, wow, that he's doing that. You know,
and Circus is an amazing character. It plays it so well. Like, God, yeah. Sorry, I love Andor. It was so good.
Yeah, but you know, and I enjoyed The Bad Batch, but it's an animated show and it has its filler episodes. But they need to clean house top to bottom and bottom up. I mean, everyone needs to be gone. Everyone, because the rest of us, if we handled our work the way they have handled their work, would have been gone.
I just looked at my work, yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
And there's reports Kathleen wants to go out on a win. I'm like, what new project is going to be a win? The
Ray project.
No, that's not going to make any money, and it's never going to get made because they know it's not going to make any money. Like the Mandor teaser thing, that looks like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know if that has big screen material, and the title is horrendous. Like, did a 5-year-old come up with the title? Like, The Mandalorian.
What do you want to say, little
Really?
Lisa?
Yeah, like
Baby Yoda.
I mean,
okay.
And I mean, the Dawn of the Jedi Order, I think James Mangold's doing that. That might have some potential, but you know, that could go one of 1,000 different ways with how that goes. I'm a big fan of the Dawn of the Jedi book from Legends, so I don't know, man. It's just sad because I'm over here being cynical, putting more thought and love into this stuff than anyone over at that franchise is doing, and I'm a hypocrite because I'm still going to watch everything, but I want it to be good, and I'm a paying consumer, so I will have my opinions as well, but I want it to be good because I want to, if I'm ever lucky enough to be a father one day, I want to have a plethora of stuff that I can sit my children down and handcuff them to the couch and make them consume the content.
One of the things that it's important to point out is that, we create content surrounding Star Wars, not in the same way, but we do. 2 people are watching our show, so that's something. We have plenty of fan fiction videos, stuff surrounding Star Wars. I'll say it. I don't give a shit. Like 10 times better than the tripe that's been put out over the last 2 years by Disney Plus. And I need this answer.
10.
What on Disney Plus do you know about being released other than Star Wars stuff?
I don't know. There's just god awful Marvel TV shows they keep coming out with.
Oh, yeah, there's that. I forget. Yeah.
I mean, we're giving Agatha a show. Really, Kevin
serious?
Feige? We're giving Agatha a show.
Agatha?
Yeah.
She's not even a major character in the comic.
I think it's dropping in late September or something like that.
Oh, no. I mean, I like the actress and I liked, the character or whatever, but
you don't have to be politically correct, Dana. You
I'm
can
not.
say she wasn't a bat.
I like the actress. I do. Okay. And I liked her in Scarlet Witch, whatever that was, WandaVision. I liked her.
They should have. I think WandaVision.
It was kind of hocus pocusy, but. So I've stated it before. I've been on what started the Sith Dominion name was a website I created that was surrounded that was a part of a role playing group that we did forum role play way back in the day. That's what we did, and we just create stories and do stuff. And the content that we created within that, we're just a bunch of 20, 30-year-olds from all over the world. We had about, 180 plus at one point, just creating stories and writing and feeding off of each other, creating these big epic battles and just super fun. Janae, I'm not as versed in the anime world. I've seen things like Ninja Scroll, of course, back in the day, and I've seen what Attack on Titan. I've watched that series. I've watched Hunter x Hunter. I've watched a couple.
Way to say it correctly, brother. That's impressive. That is impressive.
Oh, I got corrected the first time. When I was like, "Hey, what's
Hunter x Hunter fans will correct you."
Yeah. So, and then my daughter was super into My Hero Academia, and so I watched some of that. So that's kind of my limited exposure. So my question is, I'm assuming, just as I stated, we had some role play stuff. We would just create this stuff together. I'm assuming there's that same sort of fandom within the anime world, yeah?
Yeah. I haven't gone into that world in a long time, but there is a lot of fanfic stuff for either creating your own characters and throwing it into the world or just adding to the story. And some of the stories, like from remembering, it's been fascinating. It's like, oh, I never thought about it that way, putting the character in this light kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. So
is that something you've ever done or been involved in? Writing that sort of stuff?
In my mind, I've thought about fanfics, but I've never actually physically written them down.
But I know you've got a lot of art on your Facebook and Insta or whatever that I've seen. So I'm assuming, and I've seen some of the stuff I do recognize, but a lot of stuff I don't recognize because I think it's in that world I don't know as much about. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up too, to say that you got some great stuff out there. You guys should go follow. What's your you have an Insta. I think I
Yeah.
follow you.
My art Insta is JELIXNB. And right now the only things that are posted, I did a challenge back in 2021 where I drew one thing a day. So I have four or five drawing books full of one drawing per day kind of a thing. And I made sure that so there's 365 drawings that I've done that are on that Instagram right now. And they're doing some projects, but is finding the time / the motivation to do them is hard. I have one side project I finished like 4 months plus ago. It was a drawing that someone asked me if I could draw their dog that had passed away. And so I delivered that to him like 5+ months ago. I have another drawing that I've finished. I just have to mail it to the person. They wanted the original, but it's part of the book. And so there's a picture on the other side. So it was cool because I didn't know this, but I had drawn, because I was on Facebook, I had asked for prompts. And so he had given me a prompt. And so when I finally got to his idea for my list, that day that I drew it was also the day that he got his dream job.
Ah, cool.
So that's why he wanted the picture. So I redrew that picture for him. I just have to get the mailing box and mail it out. That's my struggle is time management and getting things done.
Oh, very cool. So. No, it's awesome. And anything that we can do to help showcase that stuff. So I got your Insta scrolling at the bottom at JELIXNB, right? Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. We're gonna probably go ahead and start wrapping it up, and then we'll take like 10 minutes, and then we'll be on Discord. You guys, the Discord the other night, we went to like midnight, and it ended with just Cam and I. And finally,
I don't know if I can do that tonight, brother.
I can't do that tonight, but if you want to join the Discord after dark, shoot us a direct message on follow us. Please follow us on Facebook. I know that Cam doesn't care, but I care. I need us to 100 on Facebook so we can broadcast live there.
Look, man.
Right now, we're broadcasting on Twitch and simulcasting on Twitch and YouTube. We need to add Facebook to that. What, Cam?
I don't like TikTok. I don't have anything against Facebook. I just don't actively use Facebook.
I got you.
I thoroughly despise TikTok.
But I have like 2,300 followers on TikTok, so I've got to keep using TikTok.
Well, sorry. That's a you thing. I will support
it's a TSD thing. It's not me. Sorry, TSD has 20.
I will support TSD in all forms except for TikTok.
Fine.
Give me the Reels account.
I want to make sure I share that this was not a red tonight. This was the 19 Crimes Hard Shard. Very good. Very deep Chardonnay. Not quite as buttery as the Martha Stewart version of this, which she does have. And Snoop has a virgin too. Imagine that.
Hey guys, when y'all join the Discord, y'all need to scroll up to and interact with our lore master. We love him dearly. But he's lucky free speech is a thing because this tier list he has in here is
that list, yeah,
is something to behold. And when you join the Discord, please react to it and let him know how wrong he is.
Yes, we have
on a couple of things
listing of the proper order of best to worst Star Wars shows, movies, etc. And I'm, there's he's my son in most cases. Not sure about this one, but Darth Zane. I'm sorry, not Darth Zane. Zane. Darth Zane is. Do you know the story behind that, Janae? You ever seen David Furr as Darth Zane? So Zane, we used to share that the space, right? So it would be Geek Gauntlet, like everything on GNN was on this one melon, and so you would just switch off, but the name of the host would always stay. You'd always have to change it, and he kept forgetting to change it, and it said Zane Martin, and he's like I'm not okay, Darth Zane, and from then on, that's why he's Darth Zane, because my son left his name up on the thing. Yeah,
That's funny.
it's great. But David Fur, great individual. Hey, all of you folks out there that are just following Sith Dominion, jump over to GNN at least for the next month or so while they're still up, and get yourself attached to those shows like Geek Gauntlet that Janae is on Saturday nights. You have MCU Mondays that David Fur, or Darth Zane, as he's called now, rolls with, and then also on Thursdays we have a Cantina Happy Hour. Cam and Focus just posted today too, and Cam even stated on Facebook, he's like, just because GNN might be going away in October, that doesn't mean the shows are. So they are working in the background to make sure that they get the shows where they need to go, if we can keep them going. And then of course our show is standalone now, but that doesn't mean, as we've had Janae on, we want to keep the relationship with GNN as long as we can. So thank you, GNN, for all your support in the last year. And thank you, Janae, for being on tonight. This was super fun. I hope we can do it again if you'd like to come on again.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. Debbie, feel better and stop sounding like Toad from Little Rascals. Take some meds. Go to sleep. Oh, wait, you did. And you started falling asleep on the show. Cameron, you were late tonight, but you got your points in. Is there anything else you wanted to chat about tonight before we close out? You got any other topics? We didn't even give you your actual segment spot tonight.
No, man. I got nothing. I am on the Dark Apprentice novel in the Jedi Academy trilogy. Still not a big fan of Kevin J. Anderson's writing, but I'm kind of enjoying this book a little bit more in the second, a little bit more in the first. No, I rewatched the Skeleton Crew trailer, and I think my thoughts still stand. I'm looking forward to this project.
So I think you're right. The way that you stated, I believe in the last show, understand first and foremost, it's not for me. It's not for you, right? It's a kid's young adult show.
No,
which means there's probably going to be some really campy things. But look, I was in the musical The Descendants. If you're familiar with the Disney Descendants, it's the villains and the heroes and it's their kids that have these trials, tribulations, whatever. So I was in that musical as King Beast. It was fantastic. I loved it. I went back and watched it, and as campy and as silly as it was fun to kind of take myself back and realize, like, yeah, I'm almost 50 years old, but that's fine. I can be, a teenager or whatever and enjoy this stuff. Just for the 35 minutes.
Dude, but like Stranger Things meets Star Wars meets The Goonies plus Jude Law with
Lost in Space,
with John Watts being one of the creators of the project.
I'm with you on that has potential.
It could not, and it could suck, which would be unfortunate. But when I saw John Watts was behind the project after recently rewatching all the Tom Holland Spider-Mans, I was like, I can get behind this. And Jude Law.
I've always liked Jude Law, whether he was in a lead or a support role. He's just a phenomenal actor, and he takes it and owns it, whatever he does.
I know we didn't see too much of him, but he feels like a Jedi to me. Like, when I think of actors that could be cast as Jedi, I think he feels like a Jedi to me.
So when you said that, maybe it's the Sith in me. I was like I just wanted to choke him out. I like Jude Law a lot, but the moment you said that, I don't know why, I saw him with his hood, and I just wanted to throat punch him.
I think that scene in context is going to be a lot better than what it showed in the trailer.
I hope so. I love Jude Law, but as a Jedi, I want to throttle him. I can't wait.
Dude, I was thinking of this dream casting for like an old Republic Sith. What about Michael Fassbender?
Oh, I'd be down.
I
Oh,
still need Keanu Reeves as Revan, but
100%. Look, the
I mean-
fans want it. We are telling you right now, we will pay millions. You will make
dude,
billions of dollars. You
that
will
shit
make billions of dollars if
that shit
you
would print
do-
money, man.
if you do a
Gonna sell
trilogy.
Deadpool's kidneys to get this.
Yes, dude. Look, you do a trilogy of the Old Republic, and we're talking from Revan beginning to Revan end, and that's his dark side and his lights, like all of it. You show me that with Malik, with the freaking what's his name? Dana.
Who are you thinking of?
Sucker of Life.
Oh, Nihilus.
Thank you, Nihilus and Treya and all the things and all the like. I want it all. You show me all of that on the screen with actors such as.
Yeah, that's like 6 movies, man.
Yeah, dude,
I don't know if they could fit that in 3 movies.
Man, I would watch. I would watch it. I would buy it. The
but
Lego
also, but also, the stories are good with where they're at too. It's like, I mean,
I don't want them to change the stories. I just want them to
just
put
them on screen. That would just make
100%.
too much sense, wouldn't it?
Man, when Darth Malik has has the Jedi in the tanks and all that, holy shit, dude! Like that's huge. Like he's living off their force, and it's you don't get that. Did you guys feel that with Janae? I don't know if you played the Old Republic games at all. You said you weren't much of a gamer, but in the Old Republic, there was this moment at the end of the first one where you and Darth Malik are having this kind of face off. Who once was your best bud, and now you've taken his jaw, and now whatever. But he's got these Jedi and these Bacta tanks, and he's literally like siphoning Force life off of them. It's sad.
I'd go watch the cutscenes on YouTube, Janae. If you
so good.
It's worth just watching.
So good.
It's ringing a bell because it's like, as I said, I've watched people play, but it's been a long time since I've watched Star Wars play.
Well, in all fairness, those games came out probably 25 years ago now.
Yeah, I think they're pretty old.
I was in middle school, high school with.
Got them all.
I would have watched my brother be playing that. So.
Yeah, there was something about Mount Revan that just clicked with me on a very, very deep personal level, and I think with so many people about the duality of us. You have Revan the Jedi that's badass, and you have Darth Revan who's fucking badass. So either way you go, you're badass, and that always set well with me. Like I could be an awesome, amazing leader of people as a Jedi type leader, but I could also, create some loyalty and rapport and be a badass. I'm going to go start up the Starforge kind of guy. So that's what we're doing now at the Sith Dominion, starting up the Starforge, bitches.
Dana. Dana. And Janae. Young Palpatine, if they ever decide to do that on screen, let's say we get better Plagueis. Let's just say they do Star Wars story Palpatine. Who's the cast?
You're gonna hate me. I want that sparkle vampire dude. That's Batman. What's his name?
Pattinson?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't think he had the range to do Batman, but I don't know if he has the range to do
Have you seen him in Tenet?
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing. That guy.
But looks wise, I think the guy that plays Aegon from House of Dragon.
Matt Smith?
Oh, no.
No. Facial wise, he looks like he could play a young Palpatine. I think.
Aegon.
Yeah.
The dude with the patch, right? Is Aegon.
No, that's Aemond.
No.
Who's Aegon?
That's the one who he got.
Aegon is the actual king.
The king. He got burned.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. that
But
has
like
like half a face.
looks-wise,
He's
that
like
I
two
can
face
I
now.
can see him playing a young Palpatine.
Matt Smith 20 years ago would have been the perfect casting, but he's too old now. He was
Okay,
supposed
look,
to be in
when
Rise of
they
Skywalker or something, wasn't he? Wasn't there like some?
what? Matt Smith was in Rise of Skywalker?
Oh, it was reported a long time ago. I remember when I was just hoping for not dog shit like The Last Jedi, that hopefully the Rise of Skywalker could have been
Listen,
something that
fans have power. If the studios go along, and I say that because as much as shit as I've given Joss Whedon on his bullshit from here, time to time.
Oh, Justice
Firefly
League.
was a fucking masterpiece. Firefly was amazing. And the fans were pissed. What did we end up with? At least one feature film, Serenity, and it was amazing. So it is possible for fans to have some influence. It is possible for studios to listen, and it is possible for them to churn out something really nice and cool and a nice package. Disney is failing us miserably.
I don't know, man. This Acolyte cancellation's probably one of the best decisions they could have made.
You're like, I'm on board 100%.
No, dude. I mean, there's a possibility where they double down and they're like, we do not care. If you do not like this, then Star Wars is not for you. I mean, there's totally a possibility I could have seen them doing that.
I need another strong. I need someone like a Leia. Because Rey, as much as and I've talked about it on the show many times, I love Daisy Ridley, like to the moon and back. And I think what she did with Rey, with what she was given, was amazing. And I feel really bad for her on some levels. I need that Leia character, that strong woman character that leads the dudes in a way that's subtle. That's not like you're an idiot and so I'm going to lead you. No, it was comedic. It was getting the trash chute, flyboy. Like it was like that kind of stuff, and we don't get that.
Confident in herself, and she knew what she was talking about. And then when she didn't know something, like she begrudging, I can't say that word. She reluctantly was like, fine, you do it, or fine, explain this to me, kind of a thing. So it's like she was relatable because like she admitted like when she was wrong or didn't know, or okay, fine, help me, kind of a thing.
And you could watch her grow into her role. The character grow into this, what ends up being, if you've read Expanded Universe, like she ends up the Supreme Chancellor, like because she's freaking Leia. It's like she's amazing. I think that Disney's been very short-sighted on just doing this. This is what we're gonna do for the male character, for the female character, for the whatever character. That they're very intentional on what they're doing here, but it's not having the same effect the way Lucas was intentional in saying the ragtag group of dudes was led by this chick. You guys not see this? like what's wrong with you? As noble as Luke is, he's young and dumb and makes some poor decisions. As cocky as Han is, he's cocky and makes some poor decisions. Leia doesn't always make the best decisions, but she does make them. It's like if you're gonna make a mistake, make it whole and make it big. And in the expanded universe, she's not free from error. She makes her own mistakes, and we still love her for it. And so I'm really hoping that we get back to that kind of what we grew up with these characters that blend well, are written well, can talk well. We can talk about them. We can play on the playground, every character, and just everyone have fun. And I just don't think that's where Star Wars is now. So when I say Star Wars isn't what it used to be, I'm not talking about it's not being written for me. What I'm talking about is it's not the same concept as it was when we were kids. It's not being different concept.
It's not being written well, and they're gonna need the next feature film needs to be a hit, or I don't know if they're ever going to recover. What I think Lucasfilm should do, I think that Tony Gilroy should be
stuck on them
somewhere in a head honcho role, if not creative director. Get Filoni out of there. I think that either Freddie Prinze Jr. or Sam Witwer needs to be on the board. If I don't know if Lucasfilm has their own board, but I doubt it. If not, they both need to be special advisory roles, because I think if you can get people that understand and have respect for established lore and or legends, but also people that can write good projects. And I'm hoping maybe if Skeleton Crew does well, maybe we can throw John Watts in there. Just get people that know how to write good, compelling stories behind it, and let's get Star Wars back to the big screen. Let's get people in seats. I know it costs a fortune to go to the movie theaters now, but if the movie is good, i.e. Deadpool 3, people will get into the
Deadpool
seats.
Wolverine, not Deadpool 3.
It's Deadpool 3. But Deadpool and Wolverine, who cares? If the movie is good, people will go see it, even if it costs an arm and a leg to go to the theaters now. Just don't get a drink and popcorn. Go watch the movie.
Well, if you do it at premiere so you can get free refills.
Yeah, Dane, I'm not going to premiere. But that's what they need to do. Like this, I could be completely wrong on Mandalorian and Grogu. That title is horrendous. But the next, like, it needs to, for all that the sequels were, well, the first one got people in seats. And the second one, for what it's worth, got people in seats. The third one did not get people in seats. But make Star Wars an event. That's what makes Star Wars special. That's what they need. We don't need shitty Disney Plus shows. We don't need half-ass Disney Plus show. Like, get people in seats.
So here's the thing about Expanded Universe that I don't think a lot of folks that haven't read Expanded Universe understand. The characters of Luke, Leia, Han, Lando, Chewie, their children, like all of this Skywalker saga, that's what Star Wars is. Anything outside of that is extra, and take it or leave it. That's where I'm. I can like it or not. But anything that has to do within the Expanded Universe, that is, who just said that?
We gotta get Andrew out of chat, man. I'm sorry, brother. Like you can't be putting that out there. People are gonna read the comments. They're gonna be thinking, I like the show. I do not like the show.
You know what? I told him to come on, and that would have been great because you could have just made it clear.
Boba Fett is still worse for me.
Yeah.
If
I think they really did wrong. You
consolation.
had a great actress playing Fennec, and you wasted that away. I think they did her wrong. She's just some sidekick bullshit. She was a badass in it. Like, they didn't play her right. Whenever it comes to Boba Fett at the end, he's sitting there on the throne with no one around. Like, okay, what kind of? That's awesome. Great.
They got Luke right, man. Well, I'll take that as a dub.
So my point is, the Skywalker saga is over. They've killed it. There is no more Skywalkers. They're all dead. The only Skywalker alive is the Skywalker that you've made up in your mind as someone who's an adopted Skywalker. So you, Disney, has effectively killed off the entire Skywalkers, and that's what Lucas created, was a Skywalker saga. So now that it's over, in my opinion, anything else you do is whatever. And I'll watch it and see if it's cool. If it's not, I'm going to talk shit about you on my show. If it is good, I'm going to talk good about it. But at the end of the day, who gives a crap, right? We're just some corner of the internet that has opinions like everybody else. But hopefully we look at it a little bit different.
There's good Star Wars content out there. Like we still have, whether it be YouTube and Legends, whatever. There's good content out there. Just
that's perfect.
That's what I'm trying to do. Consume that.
Right? Boba camping on his own show. I mean, you're funny, but you're not wrong.
That was John Favreau and Dave
last
Filoni,
question.
by the way.
Last question.
Just letting y'all know that.
I need to understand. So next week we're going to be talking about episode 3, which is Rise of Skywalker.
I'm not doing that show.
Revenge of the Sith. You're not going to do Revenge of the Sith?
No, I'm not doing Rise of Palpatine. I refuse.
Yeah, right. Somehow. Yeah, you will. It's in like 6 weeks from now.
No, I'm not.
Just so you guys know, I'm not
taking a vacation.
I'm not going to London now for work. So we will not miss a week or two here over the next couple weeks. So my last question before we get into the closing of the show. You mentioned earlier, Cam, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Dave Filoni and all these names.
No, I said
Cam.
Yeah.
Are you
get Dave the hell out of there, man?
I can understand why that might be your favorite Star Wars film, Andrew. Revenge of the Sith. It's got some good qualities. Where do you see this going, man? I'm really concerned with the way things are going with the cancellations. They're gonna roll Skeleton Crew because it's already done in post-production. It's done. But what about future projects? How you stated a while ago, you don't think that Rey movie's ever gonna get made. That Rey trilogy's ever gonna get made. Why do you think that?
Because nobody's gonna go watch it.
You got a problem with Daisy Ridley?
No, I have a problem with her poorly written character.
Awesome.
I agree with that.
That nobody cares about. Nobody buys the toys. Nobody buys the merch. Nobody cares.
No.
I think what they should do, just give us a break.
Oh.
Give us a break. I said it earlier in the show.
5-10 years?
Yeah, just like let it go.
Do your novels.
Yeah, do the novels, it'll be 25 years and for Attack of the Clones in 2 years, do the whole rerun.
I will tell you, I appreciated Phantom Menace probably so much more than the average Joe because as Debbie and I say, we lived through the dark ages where it was a novel every 6 months, maybe. You get a new piece to read. And even then, some of the, like you said, Kevin Anderson, you're not a big fan of. It's kind of tough sometimes to get through his shit. But then you had, Stackpole Alston, Thrawn trilogy with freaking what's his name. So you do have the good authors. R.A. Salvatore wrote within the Yuuzhan Vong War. He wrote, I think, the opening book to that. So get those authors in there that are good writers that care. Thank you, Andrew. Timothy Zahn. Oh my God, my son would beat my ass for this.
Oh yeah, you're lucky the Lord Master's not on here, man. He would have been tweaking
for that. I gotta say, like the dynamic of having your son on the show is a whole nother thing. That's just I don't think people appreciate that we have such differing opinions at times, but we both love Star Wars. But isn't that the joy of what can be Star Wars? Is us having these discussions and having these talks without people getting venomous and spitting toxicity. I think, if in the groups, even, Janae on the GNN side, the groups that we have, sometimes people get really nasty in there. And it's just, I don't think it's productive. I think we can have a good time and talk about these things and be productive. Even if, for instance, I'm not saying you're always negative, Cam, but in this instance, little on that side. But you're not being disrespectful or shitty. You're just saying, hey, it's factual. I got nothing wrong with Daisy, but what they gave her was tripe and bullshit. Yeah, of course it was terrible.
Well, it's just
at all. I think that's why I didn't like any of the movies. All the characters just were not relatable.
Yeah. You started out with John Boyega, feeling like I've got this feeling. I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. Like I feel that. Like I can relate to it. Wait, you're not gonna go back to that? You're not gonna talk about? Oh my God, really? I mean, that's how I felt betrayed, because you started getting me to care about this character and his maybe feeling he's force sensitive. And then you yanked the carpet out and made him halfway kiss a woman, and then that's it. And now you're never going to revisit that. I don't understand. And that goes back to your point, Cam. I think there's just, they didn't have it all laid out the way George did, at least in the first. I know he didn't think he was going to get those other movies made, so he crammed a lot of shit in the first movie, in A New Hope.
But they're still coherent stories, and they still things build off of the previous one. Even with all the problems with the sequels, it still tells a story and flows into the OT well. Rogue One fits right in that nice pocket where it's at. Like, I rag on the sequels all the time, but like, I mean, I took last week or a few weeks ago with Kat and Darzane, like they disagreed with how I feel about Luke in the sequels. I listened to it. I don't necessarily agree. Don't know if I am going to agree, but like, I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Like, I'm not like Zane's got Rise of Skywalker in B tier, A tier, whatever on his tier list. Like, I mean, I love our lore master.
I don't know where that happened.
I don't know if I agree with that. But like, I mean, I'm not gonna like hate somebody because they love the Acolyte or they love Rise of Skywalker or whatever. Like, I love the Phantom Menace and Jar Jar Binks, and Dana hates him and that movie. So
you notice how we're just strategically steering away and like not even addressing Jar Jar in any of this, and while we should be, honestly, because let's face it, stuff happened in episode 2 and then moving into episode 3 with Jar Jar Binks that created the Galactic Empire. He was very pivotal, and I know that. I just don't like him. I wholeheartedly agree, says Andrew Haley. Wholeheartedly agree with people who say the Acolyte shouldn't have been canceled after season 1. It should have been canceled before season 1, right, Cam?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about that, man. Like, you're gonna give this show $180 million for 27-minute episodes, and you're going to give Kenobi $90 million with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen reprising their roles that fans love, and you're going to give them half the budget of the Acolyte, and I don't
care what you say, Cam. That moment when Obi-Wan and Vader are facing off, and he's broken. Anakin is, Obi-Wan is broken, and he says, wait, what?
But why doesn't he kill him, Dana? Why doesn't he kill him?
He can't.
Why
he
do they
loves
find
him? He loves him. That's his brother. Like, even still,
he does. No, he doesn't. He spends a whole trilogy telling his son it's his destiny to kill him.
That's 10 years after.
Why doesn't he kill him?
He can't.
Why can't he kill him? He's right there.
That's like his son. That's his mentee. That's his Padawan. That's everything for him. Everything that he was. How many other Padawans did he have? That's it. Oh my God, I'm gonna fucking cry.
But why are you crying? Why doesn't he kill him?
Because that's his only pupil. That's his only legacy. That's all there is. Anything that he can save.
He says his pupil is dead.
Himself.
He says his pupil is dead when he sees him with when he cut the mask. That's not Anakin. Why not kill him?
There's always hope.
No, there's not. He doesn't think that.
Why is he crying when he sees half of Anakin's face? Why?
Because he thinks Anakin's still in there. And then Anakin tells him, Anakin's dead. I killed him. Why doesn't Obi-Wan kill him?
Can't believe it. And then after that, he realizes, oh shit, which is why he tells Luke he's more man than machine, or he's more machine than man, and he's dead. He realizes it after.
The fight shouldn't have happened in
the
fight shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Okay, okay. I'm with you there. I can't disagree.
That solves everything. Yeah, it's a cool moment. It's great. They're acting their asses off with a shit script and shit set and shit conditions, whatever. But why doesn't he kill him?
We will talk about this next episode. Because I think it's important to talk about that piece in correlation to what happens in episode 3 in their previous duel. And we'll talk about this duel, and then we'll talk about the Kenobi duel, and then we'll talk about in 2 weeks
the first or second Kenobi duel. The first, both Kenobi duels.
Both Kenobi duels. We'll talk about next week. I mean, there'll be a lot that we'll talk about with Anakin and his movement to the dark side, and then what has happened in Kenobi, which will lead us then to A New Hope, and we'll talk a little bit about before New Hope, Rogue One, because Anakin is Rogue One, great movie.
Best
Janae,
Star Wars, best Disney Star Wars.
We'll close up. We've been at it for two hours. Thank you, Janae, for joining. We missed you on cam, but no, not cam, but you know what I mean. On camera, and so maybe next time. But thank you so much for joining. You were an absolute joy to be on the show. We'd love to have you back. Appreciate your involvement and your engagement, and thank you. It was awesome. So you guys go check out Janae's Insta at JELIXNB. It's been running at the bottom. If you're on
the bottom,
Spotify or whatever, listen carefully. Instagram at JELIXNB, and go check out Janae's Insta and all the fun stuff that she has, that she does art wise too. Just amazing. So thank you, Janae. It was awesome.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely. Debbie, I hope you feel better. And Zane, have fun. Why am I using the Debbie voice? Zane, have fun recording. I hope you're done. Just ping me. Overwatch has a new season, so I know he was doing that earlier today. Cam? And that yawning, that hard worker. You working late and still coming on the show.
Amen, brother.
All right. For those of you that don't know, we do jump over to Discord at the end. After about 10 minutes, we'll fire up Discord. 10 minutes because I'm old and have to go take a piss. But we got Discord going, and we'll talk a little bit more about this. Probably not as long as like midnight like we did the night before or last week. Because I'm exhausted. But thank you all. And remember, check out those other shows on GNN for the next couple of months while they're still up and active. And then I'm sure those shows will land somewhere. So pay attention. We have Geek Gauntlet on Saturdays, right? Geek Gauntlet, Janae. And MCU Mondays and TSD. Well, I used to be up at TSD Tuesdays, and then Cantina Happy Hour on Thursdays. I don't remember what's on Fridays. And Cam and Focus every now and then War of the Stars. That's on there also. So go check them out. GNN at Geek News Now Official on YouTube for all of those shows. For my show, this show, our show, The Sith Dominion, at The Sith Dominion everywhere. Just at The Sith Dominion. Go to Linktree at The Sith Dominion. You'll find all of the links. So, what a great show. Thank you all. And we will close it out. Remember, kids, peace, it's a lie. There's only passion. Good night.